You're watching this because you're in your 20s or early 30s, you're single, and you're ambitious as hell. You're trying to figure out, are you going to climb the corporate ladder, start your own business, maybe get involved in AI or tech or crypto or some other big thing? Well, I don't know the answer for you on that. But what I know for sure is that if you are not fragile, I can guarantee you that you'll get rich from real estate. And I know because these are the exact steps that I took, and now I have over 150 rental units. Before I get into those steps, I'm going to hit you with the 6 hardest rules so that way I can get rid of anybody watching who doesn't have what it takes. Let's start with number 1, save money. Here's the deal. If you can't save up money, you do not have the discipline that it takes to be a successful real estate investor. So you might as well get out now. You're out there following these tactics where you're going to be able to buy houses with $0 of your own money. Well, that's fine if it's strategic. But if it's because you don't have a shoestring to hang on to, you have no money in backup, in reserve, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to first get your house in order. So you need to set a budget. You need to track that budget on a monthly basis. You need to learn to be disciplined. Here's the deal, guys. Don't follow the YOLO narrative out there. Money is power. That's a fact. Without it, you are being controlled. Number 2, take matters into your own hands. Become the fisherman. Don't get handed fish and take it. You need to learn to DIY. I know, probably lost you right there. That doesn't mean that's going to be your career, but when things go wrong, you need to know how to step up. You also need to learn how to do some of these things so you can better manage people. If the vision that you have is that you're going to be able to do all of this from a desk, nice desk like this, good luck. Because the riches in this game are made in the trenches. Not only DIY, but you need to learn to MIY, manage it yourself. You're not going to go out there from your desk, call general contractors to come in and they're going to save the day for you. No, you never give blind trust to somebody like that. You are going to manage contractors directly. You're going to go out and recruit contractors. You're going to build relationships with them. And most importantly, is you're going to set expectations like a man. That means clear. That means direct. That means that you're going to put it all on the table. And then because you did that, you're going to hold accountability ruthlessly, but respectfully. Rule number 3, you need to understand that you are nothing in this game. I don't say that to put you down. I say that because you need to know where you are right now so you can strategically move yourself across the board. You talking about raising a private equity fund, doing a syndication? Shut up. You don't need to be borrowing money from average citizens when you don't have the skills to back it. You're going to start by saving your money. You're going to start by getting hard money or money from the banks, people who know what they're getting themselves into. Been watching Grant Cardone? You want to do the 10X rule, go buy some huge apartment complexes? Again, shut up. Do 1X before you're ready to do 10X. Listen, no tricks, no gimmicks, no get rich quick types of schemes. It does take hard work and delayed gratification. It's a tough industry. The cream, though, always rises to the top. You got to become the cream. You got to have the skills. You got to acquire them. Number 4, you want comfort? Get a job. You need a nice place to live. Your girlfriend doesn't like it. Get a new one. You need to make a salary. You need to have monthly income. No. Be prepared to sleep on the floor. Do what it takes to build your future. Are you scared? Good. That means you're heading in the right direction. Comfort is for those that are poor. Face your challenges. If it's hard, make it the first thing on your list for that day, which leads me to number 5. Get organized. Listen, don't trust your brain. Write stuff down. Keep it digitally. You ever heard of David Allen, the Getting Things Done guy? His quote is, "Your brain is for having ideas, not holding them. Your brain's a tool. You don't need to be cluttering it with trying to keep track of all the crap you have to do. That's what phones are for. That's what notebooks are for. Keep your mind clear so you can make better decisions. I'm real dumb. Don't have much brain power, so I need to preserve as much of it as I can so I get all the crap out of there and use it the best that I can." Here's what you do. You put things in order in your journal or your notebook or on your computer, and then you decide what's the most important things to do. You put them in order and you start knocking them down. You set goals. You plan out the steps. Then you attack them. This is more than just being a task rabbit. This is organizing the thoughts in your brain. It's becoming more effective. Effective means that Decide what are the most important things to do, and then you go do them. Number 6, read, learn, do. Get off of Instagram and get a book. Find all the information out there that you can. Gain all the knowledge that you possibly can. Then use it. It's no good to just have the information in your head. You need to couple it with actual experience. And then you get that experience, and then you go learn more in a book. Then you get some more experience, then you learn more in a book. And those two things together, knowledge times experience equals skills. Those are the 6 rules. Now, before I give you the actual steps, I want to go through why you need to do this, why real estate is the greatest game out there. Number 1 is you never go back to zero. Mario rules. In the game of Mario, not that I'm a video gamer, once you get to that checkpoint, right, you never go back to the beginning of the level. You keep restarting at the checkpoint, and that's how real estate works. For every rental that you acquire and refinance, put a renter in, that's the next checkpoint. You never go back beyond that unless you make some stupid errors. So as long as you can buy that rental, hold on to that rental, next checkpoint, and those start to accumulate over time. It's the ultimate scalable business, but not how you would think. All right, most people think about scaling and they think about getting more employees, about growing a bigger business, right? But that's not how it works with real estate, because the way it works instead is like this. I used to buy nothing but single family homes. Then I started to buy multifamily. So I would hit like a couple units at the same time. Also, not saying that that is necessarily better. I actually like single family homes the best. But recently I came across a deal that was 45 different doors. And I went and negotiated that deal for a few $1 million. It was an under 30-minute phone call that got that deal done. Same time as I used to take to get a single family home under contract. Those 45 doors appraised just a month later for $5 million. That is scalability. Same input, way different output. You see, when you grow a business like that, yeah, you get more output, but you put a lot more in to get it. Next is you are the fisherman. You have ultimate control. If you come up in this business right, nobody can ever take it from you. At the end of the day, it's only you that you have to rely on. Sure, you can scale past being a solo house flipper or a solo fix and renter, but you can always go back to that, and it's always going to put food on your plate. It's always going to make you more wealthy. Next is you're going to live life on your terms. You want to wake up, hit the gym, maybe go into work at 11 o'clock. Maybe in the future you have a family. Maybe that's what you're planning for. That's definitely why I did the things that I did. I wanted to make sure that I was prepared to have a family before by having some of those checkpoints crossed. But anyway, maybe you want to take your kids to school. Maybe you're not going to be to the office until 10 o'clock. Maybe you're not going to go to an office at all, because life can be on your terms as a real estate investor. And this is the bottom line. When you build something like this, stone by stone, brick by brick, you become a different person. You become unstoppable. All right, so I thought a lot about this. What steps did I actually go through to make this happen for myself? Therefore, what I would recommend that you do, with some minor variations, because I certainly made a lot of mistakes, but most of the mistakes I made were in the actual details of the things that I was doing, not the broad strokes. First, you save money. We already talked about that. You got to have the discipline to be able to save up some money. When I started, I had maybe 30, 40 grand in the bank that I had saved up since I was a kid, worked summer jobs, whatever. Not saying you need to have that much necessarily, because the first house that I bought was for me. It was on an FHA loan with 3.5% down. Bought the house, and then I learned how to do the work. And I didn't know how to do a lot then. So I did some landscaping. I can look that stuff up online. I did some painting. I changed out the hardware. I cleaned it. I think that's all I did. A bonus here would be to house hack. That means that instead of buying a single family home, you buy a multifamily home. And that way you can go rent out the nicest unit, and then you are working on the crappiest unit. And if there's multiple, same thing. You know, you might have a triplex that you buy and you rent out 2 of the units that are ready to go. You are living in the nastiest one as you're fixing it up. And as soon as you can rent that one out, then you move on to the next one. At that time in my life, I was called the most homeful homeless person that people knew, because I was always trying to buy the next one so that way I could go get a sleeping bag, live in the backyard or inside of the job site, while I was working on it so I could keep moving to the next one. If it's a single family home, rent out the rooms to your buddies. Start fixing it up. The ones that are nice enough to live in, get a buddy to pay you rent to live in one of the rooms. Because generally with a primary residence mortgage, like an FHA or even a conventional, you have to live there for at least a year, I think are the rules. Maybe they've changed since I bought them. So you want to make sure that you don't break those rules. There's always loopholes, guys. All right, take your time with this. You're in no rush. You are going to need to pay for a place to live anyway. So right now you're just paying down your mortgage instead of paying some landlord their rent. So take your time. Keep your job. Whatever job you have that has gotten you to the point where you have that kind of cash in the bank, keep the job. Go home at night and work on these houses. Do it on the weekends. Save your money. Budget. Remember the rules. All right, you got your house. It's done. It's totally rented out. Repeat. Do it again. This time is going to be a little bit harder because you're going to have to save up a little bit more money. The second house that you buy, you're going to be required to put 20% down. Put 20% down. You start fixing it up. You live in the crappiest unit or the crappiest room. You rent out the other ones. Here we go. All the while, you're picking up more DIY skills. Maybe you're bringing in some contractors and you're learning how to manage them effectively. You're learning how to see around the corners that ultimately will screw you, but you're doing it in a safe environment. You still got your job. You have reasonable mortgage rates. You still need a place to live because remember, the last place that you bought is stabilized now. Somebody is paying you rent. So you're in a safe position. This is the safe way to get started. Now, when you finally finish this one and get it totally rented out, it is admittedly going to be tough to continue to save up the 20% that you need. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take the leap. This is where you're going to go out and get like a hard money loan to buy a property that needs a lot more work. It is not a livable house today. It's going to need a heavier renovation. You're going to need to hire contractors to manage. You're probably not going to DIY this because remember, you still have your job at this time. So get your hard money loan, hire your contractors, and take your licks. I'm telling you, you're going to make mistakes here. It's going to cost you. You need to have financial reserves here because there are going to be things that happen that were outside of your control and outside of your ability to see. Once you get to the end, sell that thing. Take whatever cash there is left in it and add to your reserves. Do it again and then do it again. Keep repeating. Now, you're going to win on these flips. Maybe not the first one, maybe it takes to the second one, and you're going to get these big chunks of cash. Stay disciplined here. The more cash reserves that you can have, the easier it is going to be for you down the road. All right. Now at this point, you can start thinking about instead of flipping to sell, you flip to refinance and rent out, right? You got those first couple that were on more conventional mortgages. Now you're going to buy a house with hard money, just like you would if you were going to flip and sell it. But instead of selling it to the market, you're going to go to a bank and you're going to say, hey, I would like to refinance this. I put a tenant in here, and they're going to give you the money to pay back the hard money loan. You're going to get your initial investment back, and then you go do it again and again and again and again. And this is how you build wealth. This is how you build a portfolio of 150 rental units. And this is how you do it without needing anybody on your payroll. You add a property, you stabilize it, you hire a property management company to come manage it. And that way you can focus on getting your next deal and managing your next renovation project. Checkpoints, baby. Mario rules. Get one, put it in the bank. Get the next one, put it in the bank. Get the next one, put it in the bank. Do this as long as you can. Don't come up for air until the last possible minute. And you'll look back and you'll have a full stack of rental portfolio and an enormous amount of wealth. And you see, it gets exponential after this because after you have those assets every single month, when the tenant pays the rent and you go pay the mortgage off, the mortgage goes down. And because of appreciation, you know, houses always appreciate. Over the last 40 years, the average has been like 4.27%. That means the house that's worth $300,000 today will be worth $900,000 when that 30-year mortgage is paid off. So every month, mortgage goes down, property gets worth more. Now, yes, there's dips. You guys understand that. 2008 happened, there is a dip. But over the long term, it continues to raise at around 4.7%. So that's it. Stack them up. Thanks for watching.